how a bottle how a bottle dungeon execution works. I've heard a lot of different execution styles and stuff, but I've never heard of this shit. So let's give it a watch and learn. Learn me, old great one.
Across medieval Europe, castles were designed not only to impress and defend, but also to terrify. Beneath their great halls and stone battlements
Fucking
often lurked some of the darkest places imaginable, bottle dungeons. These grim claustrophobic cells were the medieval equivalent of solitary confinement.
yeah, I'd go fucking apeshit crazy if I'm in like small. Claustrophobia is not my thing. You know what I mean? Like if I can't move my arms, stretch my legs, I'm fucking in hell. I'll lose my mind.
Built for prisoners whom the lord of the castle wanted to make disappear, literally and figuratively. A bottle dungeon got its name from its distinctive shape. Imagine an upside down bottle carved deep into solid rock. The neck of the bottle, its narrow opening, was the only way in or out. A prisoner would be lowered down by rope through this hole into the wider rounded chamber below. Once inside, escape was impossible. The curved tapering design prevented anyone from climbing back up, and the thick stone walls offered no weak points to exploit. These chambers were usually cut into the bedrock of a castle's keep, or built beneath thick defensive towers. Many were lit only by a small shaft or ventilation hole, if that. Some, like the infamous Bottle Dungeon at Stirling Castle in Scotland, were entirely dark and airless, their only access a trapdoor in the ceiling.
That's fucked, bro. You're literally a rat. You're really, literally a rat in a hole, bro. You can't do shit. Oh, it must have stunk and been terrible down there, dude.
Others, such as the one beneath Newark Castle, also in Scotland, opened directly into the river, allowing waste and occasionally bodies to be washed away by the tide. The purpose of these dungeons wasn't merely imprisonment, it was punishment, isolation and humiliation. Unlike higher status captives, who might be held in a comfortable room or tower chamber, those sent to a bottle dungeon were usually common criminals, rebels or political enemies, whom the castle's lord wanted to torment or forget. With no light,
Basically, you fucked with the wrong people and now you're stuck. You found out. You're finding out right now at that portion.
no bedding, and minimal food or water, survival in one of these pits was uncertain. Prisoners were often left to die of starvation, exposure, or madness. Archaeological evidence and written accounts reveal that many of these chambers were barely large enough to sit upright in.
Oh, that'd
Some
be
were little
fucking
more than
terrible.
6 feet deep, their floors damp and uneven, their walls slick with moisture. The small size and isolation amplified the psychological torment. In winter, they were freezing, in summer, suffocating. The stench of rot and human waste made them unbearable.
Well,
In some cases,
shit.
bottle dungeons
Well, to be fair, everywhere smelled like fucking rot, human waste, well, all kind of waste, and rotting flesh back in that time. They used to have like what was it, fragrant pouches, like little pouches with herbs and shit they'll hold underneath their nose, always spritzing themselves with perfume. Uh, Back in them times was pretty shitty, literally and figuratively.
also doubled as oubliettes, a French word meaning to forget. In these, prisoners weren't meant to be released at all. Once a trapdoor was closed, the person inside was forgotten, left to die slowly in darkness. Their remains might
Yeah,
be
done.
discovered years later, when the dungeon was cleared or when a castle changed hands. By the late medieval period, the use of bottle dungeons began to decline as castle prisons evolved and more formal justice systems developed. But their legacy endured. Many still survive today, haunting reminders of a brutal age.
Well, honestly, in my opinion, they probably should bring them back for some crimes. But I'm just a douche online. Don't listen to me.
Visitors to castles like Stirling, Newark and York can peer down through these narrow openings and imagine the horror of being trapped below, with only the echo of your own voice for company. In essence, bottle dungeons were a cruel but effective form of control, architectural impressions of absolute power. They were designed to erase people from sight and memory, sealing them in darkness
There you
beneath the
go.
very symbols of medieval authority.
You may be
Few
still
places in
alive.
history
You may be still alive, but you dead. You put in the hole, you gone, bro. You in the hole. You ain't nothing more but a distant scream in the wind, bro. You pissed off the wrong people. That'd be a shitty way. Well, honestly, out of all the medieval tortures and ways to die back then, this is probably the most tame one. It's kind of sucks dick, but yeah, it's better than the Iron Donkey or whatever the fuck it's called.
So perfectly combined stone, fear, and silence. Thanks for watching. To support our channel, please make sure to subscribe, and once again, thank you so much for watching.
Thank you for educating me, my son. I love you.